Hello, guys. Of late, quite a few budding journalists have been asking me about the prerequisites to be a successful scribe in the days to come. Well, I don't want to sound preachy, and I don't want to, do any gyan because I don't consider myself to be a successful journalist. I did mess up with my career. I could have been far more successful than what I have been, what I am at this point of time. The sufferings that I had to go through, the ordeal that I had to go through, I mean, they're all because of my own doing. But having said that, I've been fortunate enough to have shared the newsroom with quite a few legendary journalists from whom I've learned a lot. So, obviously, I am in a position whereby I can at least guide you to a certain extent. Talking about the requirements, talking about the criteria, I must say the foremost criterion is passion. Without passion, you cannot go places, and it's just not a question of journalism. In any field, if you just take it as a job which is going to earn you a handsome salary or a lucrative salary at the end of the month, it means that you're not serious about it. It means that you're here just for the heck of it. So fall in love with your profession. If you're in love with your profession, ultimately, you can actually stand out in the crowd. It's very important. And then addiction to news, because journalism is all about news hunting, and you have to be very much on the ball. And if you miss out on a news, excuse me, if you miss out on a news and you feel frustrated, that's a very positive sign, which means that you are ready to raise your bar. You are challenging yourself every now and then, and that ultimately kind of pushes you up the pedestal in the days to come. There are so many addictions, excuse me. There are so many addictions. Some are addicted to alcohol, some are addicted to smoking, and there are other forms of addiction as well. But at the end of the day, if you take addiction positively, which means if you are addicted to something which is going to yield you rich dividends in the days to come, I mean, that comes in handy. So be very much on the ball, as I said, and always try to kind of enhance yourself. Always try to gain knowledge, because if you gain knowledge, ultimately that sort of benefits you in the long run. Because this age is all about competition, and with so much of competition around, wherever you go, wherever you place yourself, you see people who are sort of bestowed with so many qualities, and they know so much. In fact, at times I really get surprised by the kind of knowledge level that youngsters have, and I really envy them at times, because I mean, they're eager to learn, they're keen on doing well in their careers, and they're very serious about it. So it's quite commendable. And then with the advent of the digital media, what has happened is pace is very important, because it's all about publishing a story faster than your competitors. So if you can do that, it means that you're definitely off the block much before your so-called rivals. And so far as pace is concerned, I think the moment you get a good news, it's important that you spot a news. If you think that, okay, this news is going to give us views, just go for it. If it's very important, obviously you have to publish it as fast as possible. And tardy pace doesn't really sort of come in handy. So just publish the story first. Try to be as flawless as possible, but there are times when you make mistakes, but publish the story. Once the story is published, once it is shared on the social media, then you can always kind of update it, you can rework without affecting the URL. So it's essential that you are very fast. If you are fast, then obviously, you stand out in the crowd. And this urge to gain knowledge, this urge to be versatile, I think it's very important, because if you confine yourself to a particular zone, then after a certain point of time, you find going really tough, and you can't just be happy with the beat that you've been given. Suppose when you're writing an article, if you can give anecdotes from other fields, suppose you're writing an article in politics, so you bring in some elements of sports, some elements of films, just to add value to that article. So that stands you in very good state at the end of the day. That's what I feel. So passion, pace, addiction to news, these things are very important. And don't take it as a job. The moment you start taking your job as a job, then what happens is things get very stereotyped. and you lose interest after a certain point of time. Be very passionate, be obsessed with what you're doing, and don't be conscious of your working hours, because journalism is such a job where you are expected to rise to the occasion anytime. Suppose you're sleeping and now all of a sudden something really important happens. You have to just shun everything else and get back on track. But if you have an attitude problem, then obviously you end a sorry figure at the end of the day. So be very conscious about all this. There's no dearth of talent. Everyone is talented, I feel. Everyone is born with a certain with some innate qualities, but what is more important is how you transform your qualities into success. You can only do that if you are serious and committed to the profession you are associated with. So God bless, guys. I'm sure my words won't fall on deaf ears. Again, I would reiterate that I'm not I've not been very successful as a journalist, but whatever little I've learned, I can always share with you guys, and hopefully that will kind of work in your favor in the days to come. God bless. Thank you so much, and have a great Saturday.